Recording. Hello. Hi. What'd you say? You gotta go what? You gotta go poop? My poop gone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Sawadee Krupp. I'm Steven, and this is my video log, the Psy American. Speaking of poop and ultimately nitrogen, let's talk dirt. Okay, so we need to make some soil. I did want to show you this. I mean, I bought some of this just because some organic matter to amend some soil. But trying to do this and sustain it, you need a lot of money to keep on buying. But the thing about it is there's so much organic material for soil. I mean, there's soil already in the earth as it is, but it depends on the level of various minerals and organic matter. Specifically, we want nitrogen that's in the composting process or has been composted, and of course other minerals and like iron and magnesium and phosphorus and all that, to make our soil a living entity that we can use in our garden. So I've got a system set up now that I've started to get some soil, and I'm going to show you here what it looks like here. Just a quick stop over here at our garden. Midday sun. These guys are looking a little bit wilting here, so to water them here in a second. But yeah, the potato plants, they're coming up strong here, so I need a lot more soil to for healing purposes and for other seed starting purposes. But man, that those cucumbers and okra, they tend to wilt during midday here when they get a lot of sun. But I'll reinforce them with some water here, and they'll be up and coming. But anyway, so our soil system here, these are all upcycled materials that were thrown out. All of these totes here. So we've got our main composting bin, of course, layering, adding all kinds of various organic matter, and also our potato seed starter is in here. But basically what I've been doing is I've been digging existing soil. This is a very alkaline soil here, but there's a lot of, as you can see, there's a lot of rocks and twigs here in our soil here. It's just no good, and obviously a lot of sand and stuff. So trying to plant directly in this is not very practical. But so basically we want to separate a lot of this stuff. So I went ahead and got two basic things here going on here. I've got this mesh plate that I made a frame, wood frame, this mesh, and it's about, I'd say it's about, I don't know, 1 to 2 millimeters, 2 by 1 millimeters their size, so it does let very small particulate through here. So that's my first stage. Basically is what I'll do, I'll show you in a second, is I'll sift and I'll get the finest materials into our main seed starting mix over here, and then I'll put the remainder in this tote here, and I do a further sifting, which with this, where'd it go? Just had it. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so this mesh, this filtration mesh, which I'm using for soil now, it's about 5, I want to say 5 mil, the size. And so I'll sift that, so everything in this blue tote here will be less than 5 millimeters in size, and then after that I throw the remainder here. So this will be like more closest to our I guess it's mulch level, but there is like clumps of dirt and sand, so I'll have to later sift through that later. But basically I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so let me just set this up here. All right. Okay, so the initial process I'll do, like I said, I have this mesh here, the blue bin. So I'll set that on top of my bin. I'll get us some raw material here from our pile here. So I'll go ahead and go over the first bin. Right, so anything that's smaller than 1 to 2 mil is going to go right into this thing here. But the first thing I want to do is I want to separate these sticks, and need that dirt there. Yeah, just pick out the big stuff. Now, I mean, you're gonna have to get to it eventually anyway, but make life a lot easier. Just get it out while you can, and then yeah, just with your hand, you'll get eventually other pebbles there. And right away, you're getting all the small and fine particulate there. Like I said, I'm gonna reuse those pebbles and rocks as media later, so I don't mind. They add up eventually, right? Okay. Rocks by hand, so I can use those later for other things. So, and of course, big rocks like that we don't want, right? So just with my hand, I can kind of do this and pull out any clumps that I really don't need here off the matter. Just throw that back into the earth, and that saves me a lot of trouble down the road. Okay. So mostly the big stuff is out already by hand. And obviously, if you have a lot of different screen mesh sizes, you can just do that. You don't have to hand pick through anything, but I don't mind getting a little dirty here in the process. Okay, and of course I can do that, or I can just scoop with my hands. And then second stage, a lot of pea gravel size here. I'm really going to reuse for other things, for sure. So now that the big stuff is mostly out of the way, I mean, you could shake it up and get even further, but then I'll just go right into this here, the red bin. And this is where I added the hummus / manure mix, but obviously if you've got your own manure, you got like rabbits or chickens, or here we get a lot of deer droppings, which I'll use when I see it, and I'll mostly throw it into the main bin there. But basically the next step is I'm going to take this mix of hummus and organic material and a lot of other stuff here. I am going to, that's just some manure clumps from the hummus. I'm going to take it and I'm going to scoop some into this filter mesh here. I'll show you my method here. Basically, open the bag here up, scoop some in there, into the bag. I'm not picky at all what goes in. Do it directly from here. Half full. We don't want to fill it up tight. Okay, so good thing about these mesh bags is they zip up, so they're easy to work with, even for filtration or sifting. So I have my clump of dirt here. As you can see, it's already kind of shaking out here. So one thing you can do, you can kind of shake it, but one thing I found is if I just do this, turn it out, I'm going to get everything that's going to kind of naturally come out. Anything smaller than 5 mil is going to come right out. And you get some little pieces of grass and stuff. I'm not too worried about that. It's just mainly the hard, large pebbles and sticks that I don't want in my seed starting mix over here. So, yeah, right there. I can do this, it keeps going. I'm just going to get more and more the more I go. So I'll also do a little bit closer so I don't lose a lot of this down here. Just kind of keep on going like a washing machine, yeah? Keep turning and turning. And you can shake it, but this I find works really well. Just let gravity work, don't put too much energy. It's just basically cycling it. Yeah, so obviously the bag starts to get a lot smaller. Of course, if you get any clumps in there, you can break them up with your hands. You can go as long as you want. You're still going to get more and more and more. Speaking of organic material, we got something here. I don't know what this is, like a maggot worm or something, huh? Some kind of worm, bug, insect, soil-based. Mumbling, mumbling. What is he saying? That's why I have to do voiceover sometimes, because I find myself mumbling too much. And the material that I'm left with, so this is probably like half of what I started with is left over. So this material here that I'm left with here is going to go into my third bin, and this is going to be my stuff that I'll have to sift through later, or make some mulch, get a larger mesh of some sort. So basically, yeah, I'll just dump it out there, and I'll keep on going. I mean, I could get the finer stuff from the earth into the blue, then what's remaining of that, I'll pour it into this red bin, and then the red bin I'll sift it further. And so now I have a lot of working soil that can save a lot of money. You got to invest time, obviously. You can buy it or just invest your time into making it. And of course, the key factor with soil is your organic material. So you're going to need manure and other sources of nitrogen and other minerals to create your microbiome. I'm no agronomist, but it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, as you can see, what we have from our first bin is really good. It's got a mixture of that sandy type soil, a little bit of organic material, but I'll still go through it and I'll still find stuff like this that somehow managed to infiltrate my sifting, but it's not a big deal. There's nothing that's that solid that can't be grown with. So yeah, that's some moisture. Obviously, if you don't add your own organic material, you're going to get a lot of more less healthy soil. But yeah, so that's workable. And just to give you an idea of what we have from our second stage, there's still a lot of rocks and pebbles and stuff, but ultimately what we do is we put them there, and obviously later on we'll get some larger size mesh, maybe 10 mil or even 20 mil, so we can just get a lot of these rocks out of here. But yeah, so basically it's almost like mulch. The sticks, there's still some clumps of dirt in there. Like I said, I'll have to do a further layer of sifting. But yeah, and that's how I'm getting my soil right now to replenish the garden. If you like what you see and hear here, be sure to give me likes, comments, and subscribe so as to not miss any updates. Khop khun krap.